Hello again, everyone. Thank you guys for joining us this evening. For those of you who are new, welcome. Welcome. My name is Marika Chang. I am the Saturday Visitor Awards Administrator, as well as the Executive Director of Poe Baltimore. Again, not quite fit for TV this evening, but I've learned to make my avatar, and I like how it's sort of like talking to everybody. So I hope everybody's doing well this evening. Thank you for joining tonight. Once again, and every Thursday, in December and January, we will be meeting on Thursday night live to answer questions from people out there who are interested in submitting works for the Saturday Visitor Awards, an honor presented by Poe Baltimore, the Edgar Allan Poe House and Museum in Baltimore, Maryland, recognizing a new generation of artists and writers inspired by Edgar Allan Poe. We honor works, original works adapting or inspired by Poe every year, and have an award, give an award to the creators who are continuing Poe's legacy in popular culture and looking at some of the very, very best works from around the world. So the purpose of these sessions is to talk about the awards, get people familiar with the awards, and to spread the word. If you know a creator, or if you are a creator who is inspired by Edgar Allan Poe, you've created works either adapting sort of classical adaptations of his works, or you do original works inspired by Poe, we want to see these pieces. We want to share your work with Poe heads around the world, and the awards are for you. So we'll be talking about the guidelines this evening, talking about some tips and tricks, and some of the things, some of the mistakes that we see folks make each year. This will be the fourth year for the awards. Very, very excited to continue this program, but we want to make sure that everybody understands what they should be thinking about before they submit their work, and then give you the resources to find information. What you can do if you're watching on Twitter, you're watching on Twitch, you're watching on YouTube, you're watching on Facebook, you can chat questions to me in the comments. I should be able to see them. If I figured out the technology this week, we'll see. I should be able to see your comments. And if you have some questions, if you're feeling brave, you can send those my way, and I'll try to answer them live tonight. If you're feeling a little bit shy and you don't really want to submit your question to the masses just yet, or you just want to get a hold of us, I'm also going to be sharing our contact information. And you can get a hold of me. You can ask me questions before you submit, and so that you are absolutely ready. So again, what are the Saturday Visitor Awards? An honor recognizing artists and writers inspired by Edgar Allan Poe. We give this award in two different categories, but it spans different genres, spans different mediums. You are not limited. So filmmakers, poets, writers, novelists, artists of every shape and stripe are welcome around the world to submit. There are a couple of eligibility guidelines that I will be sharing with you this evening, but that is the purpose of the Saturday Visitor Awards. We see Poe's legacy is alive and well around the world, and that is the purpose of these awards, and to recognize some of the best folks. So to give you a little bit of information about who I am, and who our organization, Poe Baltimore, was a nonprofit organization created to fund, maintain, and interpret the Edgar Allan Poe House and Museum in Baltimore, Maryland. Of course, though, people come from around the world to visit Poe House, to come to Baltimore to visit the man himself. We do have the body, he is buried here, and are inspired by Poe. And so we keep Poe House open to visitors and welcome thousands of visitors from around the world. Even in the pandemic, we have been so very pleased to see people continue to come to Poe House. The second part of our mission, and I believe just as important, we are dedicated to continuing Poe's legacy, really sharing and celebrating Poe's legacy, both here in Baltimore and beyond. Now, what do I mean by that? That means drawing a direct line from Poe to the present day, really sharing with people the outsized impact that Edgar Allan Poe's works has on popular culture. One of the pleasures of being a historian at Poe House and the director at Poe House, people from all over the world do send their creative works to the museum. They want to share it with the Poe world, and the awards were a way for us to recognize that incredible effort. and to show some of the best and brightest. And so that is how the awards were conceived. For those of you who are interested in coming to visit us, if you have an opportunity to come to Baltimore, we are in fact open, reservation only at this point. The pandemic ruins everything, unfortunately, but we do still have Poe's House, Poe's Chamber Door open to visitors, so you can come and see us any Thursday through Sunday from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. Again, reservation only, so please visit poebaltimore.org to learn more about how to come in just see Poe House for yourself. It really is a very special place and a very precious historic site. And we welcome visitors from everywhere. I see a comment. Hi there. Hey, Kyle. How you doing, Kyle? Kyle's one of the producers for the Saturday Visitor Awards, as well as the International Edgar Allan Poe Festival and Awards. Oh, I'm happy to see you, Kyle. Thanks for joining this evening. So I'm going to give you guys a couple of quick, frequently asked questions and tips about the Saturday Visitor Awards. But before I do that, I do want to share with people a short video. This video did not play last week. I have fixed the bugs. I know that we can show it to you now. So who can enter the Saturday Visitor Awards, and talk a little bit about these categories. I'm going to do a deeper dive into this in just a moment, but I will share this short video with you now. There was a little bit of a lie in the video. It's not quite true yet. The Saturday Visitor Awards opens January 19th, Poe's birthday. So the portal is not open yet, but that leads us directly into dates to remember. The call for entries for the 2022 Saturday Visitor Awards will open January 19th. It happens to be Edgar Allan Poe's birthday. And if you visit poebaltimore.org, you'll see some of the really, really cool events we have planned for that week, as well as that weekend, the return of Poezella, our birthday bash for Poe. And we will also be working with Chris Reel at Baltimore Rent-A-Tour this year, doing more tours around the city of Baltimore, bus tours, as well as keeping Poe House open in honor of Poe's birthday. So please visit the website, not just for Saturday Visitor Awards information, but information about the birthday. But for our purposes tonight, SVA is open January 19th. Now, that is an important date to remember. The deadline to enter is May 30th, 2022. The form will close 11:59 p.m. midnight that day. It is one day before the final day of May. So you want to make sure that you get your work in plenty of time so you don't miss that deadline. Traditionally, we announce the nominees by July 30th of the year, and then October 8th next year will be Poe Fest International. So those are the dates to remember, the sort of timeline for the awards. Now, if you are interested in going deeper into the guidelines, I highly encourage you to do this. You'll find all the information about the Saturday Visitor Awards at SaturdayVisitorAwards.org. You'll be able to download the entry guidelines for 2022. Even if you have submitted previously, I highly recommend, I cannot stress this enough, you want to download the guidelines again. You want to see these guidelines again. I don't want anybody surprised or uncertain when they see the new portal when it opens for the call for entries. There are a couple of changes this year, and I'll be talking about some of those tonight. But even if you've entered before, please visit SaturdayVisitorAwards.org. You can download the entry guidelines for 2022 right there. We also have some other frequently asked questions there. Now, the purpose of these sessions, of course, tonight, I am here to answer your questions, so feel free to comment in the videos. If I see some comments later, if I missed some comments this evening, I will come back next week. We're doing this every Thursday. I'll come back next week and I'll answer those questions, but I'll share your question tonight if you're feeling brave. If you're still feeling a little bit shy, here is the email to contact us. Send your questions my way, contact@poefestinternational.org. The only thing we ask is for these live sessions, send your questions in the chat tonight or in the comments tonight, and I can answer those tonight. However, if you have specific entry questions, please don't send those via social media, sending us direct messages on Facebook or sending us direct messages on Twitter. It's a different team who looks at the social media, so you definitely want to send your questions via email or via the website, and you can see it great big here, SaturdayVisitorAwards.org. You want to do that. So, all right, let's go back to the categories for a bit. You saw in the eligibility of that sort of guidelines video just now, we do offer Saturday Visitor, we award Saturday Visitors in 2 categories. Now, the first is adaptations of Poe's life or works. More classical or traditional, more expected notion of adapting Poe's work. If you've ever seen straight adaptations, animations, film renditions, dramatic performances of Poe's actual works, recordings, film, performances, scripts, these kinds of things, we do look at that's appropriate for this category. Now, portraiture falls here. Poe's actual likeness, that incredible mustache and the giant forehead, of course, his iconic figure of Poe, that falls here in the adaptation category. But the medium, there's no restriction on medium. We have seen paintings, we have seen 3D sculpture, we have seen beadwork. It's some really incredible and very creative people inspired by Poe out there. And so we've seen there's no limit as far as that goes. Now, biography does fall here because of the narrative nature of biography, sort of storytelling aspect of biography. If there are talking about people in Poe's life, talking about Poe's life himself, biography would fall in this category. Film or dramatic adaptation falls here. Now, it's very important to note that even though biography might fall here, the SVAs are intended to recognize artistic works rather than academic criticism. So when people are interested in submitting their works for adaptations of Poe's life or works, really not looking for academic papers or anything like that. These awards are not for academic criticism. So perhaps submit something like that to the Edgar Allan Poe Society of Baltimore for the annual lecture rather than for the Saturday Visitor Awards. But I hope that that is clear. But if you have any questions, do please feel free to send those my way. Now, original work, second category, original works inspired by Poe. Examples might be Poe's life as a character in a film, Poe as a character in film, novel or play, original novels, original stories, short stories. We have seen sequels, prequels, or any basis for original story where Poe is either a character or you're inspired by some of Poe's work and you're bringing a setting or a place from Poe's work. Those things would fall into the original works category. And of course, original poetry. We've seen poetry. Some wonderful, incredibly talented people have been nominees and have won. As a matter of fact, the Saturday Visitor Awards, you can see some of the previous winners on our website. So this hopefully gives you sort of an outline of these 2 different categories. Now, one thing to note, and I want to make this clear to everyone, if you have any questions about your piece, please be in touch with us. Send me an email, send a message through the website, ask us. It is totally, you're not ruining the surprise by getting a hold of me as the administrator, asking me these questions. I want to help you submit for the right category. But let's say that you didn't get a hold of me, or you submitted your work. You will not be penalized if the judges decide that your work might be a better fit for the other category. And so if the judges determine that a piece submitted, for instance, for adaptations is a little bit more, has taken more dramatic license, for instance, they might kick it over to original works. And there's a little bit of a process and how that happens, and they vote on whether or not to switch the category. But it's very important that everybody know you won't be penalized if you submit to one category and then you're kicked over to another. That does not disadvantage you. However, get in touch with me. If there's a question, no question, be in contact. I'm very happy to help. I want to help. And talk about your work, and that is totally fine, because I am not one of the judges. I'm the administrator, and I'm here to help you. So general ideas about eligibility. Again, please visit the website, download the eligibility guidelines. Even if you have submitted a piece previously, some of the rules have changed, but the things that I'm showing you here have not changed at all. Media, art, performance, and a writing that adapts or is inspired by Poe's life and works. These are the kinds of pieces that you want to submit. There are no restrictions by medium or genre. There aren't even restrictions by age. Last year, we had a nominee, the youngest nominee for the Saturday Visitor Awards, Rosemary Priven. She was 9 years old. Her work submitted by her creative team, i.e. her dad, and really just incredible work that made it to the nomination, as she made it as a nominee. So we're not limited in that way. So this is wide open for folks. Now, where this narrows, where this kind of funnels down, the work must have been released, printed, distributed, or first performed between January 1st, 2019 and December 31, 2021. Yes, you only have a couple of more weeks, 2 more weeks, 3 more weeks, to finish your work and publish it. Works must have been released, printed, distributed, or first performed in the previous 3 years from the year that the awards are offered. The reason we do that is to accept works on a rolling basis, but eventually that eligibility phases out. So we're looking for works that are in popular culture. Now, one thing to note, self-published works do count. So let's say your work has not been published yet, your work has not been released yet, but you put that up on social media, or you release this on your website, or you're a YouTube creator, you put it up on your channel. The only thing to remember is that work must have been released by December 31, 2021, and we will be looking for that timestamp, and we will be looking to verify that. So this is one thing that kind of trips people up every year. But the reason we do this is to phase out that eligibility, so that something that was created maybe 10 years ago, as wonderful as it may be, we're looking for the new artists and writers who are continuing Poe's legacy in popular culture. And those are the folks that we are recognizing for the Saturday Visitor Awards. Now, reprinted or re-released materials are discouraged. I did have someone ask me this question before they submitted last year. Let's say you want to submit a work for the Saturday Visitor Awards. Something was published like maybe 5 years ago, but you're sorry that you missed the awards. You really want to get this in there. So you want to reprint or re-release the work whole cloth so that you can qualify and be eligible. We really do discourage that. We'll ask you to be honest, and the judges will be looking for this. Now, let's say the work has changed materially. We as creators, the work is never done. We're always tweaking and changing and doing things and reprinting and re-releasing our work and doing new things to it. Reprinted or re-released materials that have been edited, that have been changed materially, those may be eligible. That is entirely up to the judges. And again, if there's a question, there's no question. You want to get a hold of me, the administrator. You want to talk this out and make sure that you are in fact eligible. Because if the judges find that the work has been reprinted or re-released, that would be embarrassing for everybody, and you would be banned. So yeah, discouraged. But if there's a question, please get a hold of me, and I'm happy to work through that with you. Now, one thing to note, a work may be nominated in more than 1 year, but a winning entry may not be entered again. Important to note that. So any of our nominees who might be out there who are watching this video, who want to submit their work, want to try another bite at the apple, you are welcome to enter your work again, and your work may be nominated again. But if you have won, if you are a winner, nope, you are a winner forever. You're a winner for all time, and you don't get to win again. So you wouldn't be able to submit your work again, and your work would be disqualified for a second time. So I hope those are at least give you an idea of what to look for in the guidelines. But again, I highly recommend folks visit our website, go to the website, download our entry guidelines. Even if you've submitted previously, a couple of things have changed, a couple of things are new. So we don't want anybody to be surprised by that. One thing, for instance, that is new is you must choose. Now, I know that we are talking to some very creative people and prolific folks out there. You may have several works that you are heavily inspired by Poe in your work. You might have many pieces that you want to consider or you want to have considered for the Saturday Visitor Awards. One of the rules that has changed this year is you must choose. You may only submit one work per category. Now, if you have adaptations of Poe's works, and then you also have something that would fall in the original works category, you may submit one piece in either category, or in each category, I should say. But you may not submit more than one piece in a single category, and that is something that is different this year. So again, even if you've submitted previously, I highly suggest you visit our website, you download this the new version of the guidelines so you can see what has changed. All right. Well, I'm not seeing any questions in chat yet. I'm not seeing any questions in the comments yet. So, but I do see some eyeballs still out there. So I highly encourage, again, I'm here live to answer these questions for you, here to give you the resources if you want to get a hold of me, and then I'll share your question, perhaps the answer to your question with the group next week. But feel free to send those my way before we end this evening. So a couple more things to remember. I shared a couple of these. I shared these last week, but we'll good to go over them again. Important things to remember and common mistakes. We see mistakes from some folks every year, despite the fact that we try to make the guidelines as clear as possible. But please understand eligibility. We're looking for completed works that were first released, published, printed, and available to be seen by the public at some point in the previous 3 years. That's between January 1, 2019 through December 31, 2021. Now, again, self-published works count. Any work that you release or that you publish before December 31 of this year, you will be eligible for 2022, those Saturday Visitor Awards next year, and you can enter for the call for entries. Now, let's say you create something and you publish it. You worked all year in 2021. You publish it January 1st, January 2nd, 2022. Sorry, you're not eligible until the following year. But it's okay. Hopefully, and we're going to be here for a long time. So, and Poe's legacy is alive, despite the fact the man has been gone a long time. So we continue to celebrate creators who are inspired by Poe. You will have an opportunity to enter the Saturday Visitor Awards again. But please understand eligibility. We see this trip people up every year, and that's not fun to have to go back to tell people, sorry, you've paid the money, you spent all this time on your submission, and unfortunately it's not eligible. So we don't want to do that. We do ask, you're going to be asked to provide a working link. Now, we know that works created sometimes can only be understood or can only be seen in person to be truly appreciated. And our awards are administered digitally. The judges will not be able to travel to you. We don't have the budget to send the judges to you, travel to Saskatchewan and see your work in your studio. So you will be asked to provide a URL to your piece. You're required to provide a working URL for the judges to view, and you will have an opportunity to explain to the judges what they might be missing, by not being in the presence of the piece. So I know that that is difficult for a creator who wants everybody to see their baby, but the way that you will be asked to submit to the awards is to provide a working link. Now, one of the things that happens is we get a URL to something that requires a password, or we get something to we get the message, can't find the work, or the social media post is gone, or something like that, and we can no longer see it and we have to track it down. We will make one attempt to contact the artist if the link is broken or requires a password. If we cannot reach you, or you fail to provide a link after you're given the second opportunity, the entry is going to be disqualified. So provide a working link. Be ready to do that. So as you're thinking about getting ready to submit your piece, just know if it's a work that's in person, you will be given an opportunity to explain to the judges what they might be missing by not being in the presence of this piece, but you will still have to give a URL to a video, to a picture, to a website, this kind of thing. And if we cannot get this link to work, sorry, you're disqualified. If you don't know what a URL is, please ask a friend to help you, or you want to Google that now. So, but I just know that is going to be required. The other thing to note, and this is a little bit more like a point 2.0, make it easy to view. We know these wonderful artists are working with crazy programs, and because the awards are not limited by medium, Photoshop and Illustrator and After Effects, and I don't even know all of the names of the programs. We know artists work with crazy programs and file types when they create. You need to deliver the file in a format that is universal and can be opened without a special program. We really discourage editable files like Word or Pages files, and social media links are a bit of a gamble. So just be ready to submit a link that the judges will be able to access without needing a special program to do it or a special account to do it. Sometimes we get links to free Amazon files or free Barnes & Noble files, and you don't want to do that, or Nook files, I should say. So assume the judges don't have Photoshop, have never heard of Kindle, and you want to give them the type of file that is universal that they can open. Assume that they have a computer, assume that they have internet access, but that's all you can really assume of the judges. And you want to make this as easy for them as possible, because if you annoy the judges, make it difficult to open your file, it's going to be really hard to judge your work fairly. So, okay. I'm not seeing any questions from anybody. I'll hang out for just another couple of minutes. Again, for those feeling brave, if you want to ask some questions while I'm here, very, very happy to do that. But the reason we're doing this on Facebook, or the reason we're doing this on YouTube, rather than a Zoom session or anything like that, we want to make these guidelines as accessible as possible. We want to make the awards as accessible as possible to as many people as possible, rather than have you sign up for something and then people not show up. So that's the reason we're doing it in this format. However, I'm very, very happy to chat with you, very, very happy to answer an email, any questions that you might have specific to your piece. So feel free to contact us and get questions our way. And again, I'll put this up there. Download the entry guidelines. There are other frequently asked questions, and we will continue to post those as time goes on as well. But you can contact me at contact@pofestinternational.org, or send a message directly through SaturdayVisitorAwards.org. And again, please don't send any direct messages via Facebook or Twitter or anything like that, because the questions might not get to us. But these are the best ways to get a hold of us. All right. Well, we are in the holiday season, and so for those of you who are know any creators or you are a creator thinking about the Saturday Visitor Awards, you like programs like this, you've come to the International Edgar Allan Poe Festival and Awards, you've come to visit Poe House, you love Poe, you're watching this video, you've made it this far, you're watching this video. We are in the middle of our Poe Nation donation support for Poe House. We have a $5,000 funding goal before December 31, 2021, and your donations help keep Poe's Chamber Door open to the thousands of visitors from around the world, and your donations support programs like the Saturday Visitor Awards. So do please consider donating to Poe Baltimore to keep Poe House open. The quickest and fastest way to do that, to keep Poe's Chamber Door open, make a donation to Poe Baltimore. Text Poe Baltimore to 44321 to donate. That is one way to support us. Another way is to come and visit us. Come visit Poe House, or you can visit the shop, visit the merch shop. We've got a couple more days where with the post office being a little bit these days, you want to get any gift shop orders in as quickly as possible if you're trying to get these things out for presents for end of year. But you can visit poehouseshop.com. And again, your donations and your purchases help support Poe House. Please consider, you're watching on one of our social channels if you're seeing this video, but do follow us on all of them if you can. Poe Fest International, Poe Baltimore on Facebook, Poe of Baltimore on Twitter, Poe Fest International on Facebook. I'm Poe Baltimore on Instagram. All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Again, not seeing any questions tonight, but be in touch. We do want to see your questions. We do want to work with you so that you can submit the absolute best work you can for the awards. And we'll see you at the festival next year. Very, very pleased to be with you guys tonight. Thank you very, very, very much. And we will see you next week. Again, we're meeting every Thursday here on Facebook, here on YouTube, on Twitter, ready to answer questions live. And if I see any questions from anyone this week, I will share answers as well with folks next week. Return next Thursday if you'd like to meet live. Thanks very much, guys. Have a good night.